oh my God, they actually started on time for once. Should
I
probably
mean,
bring this up.
I'm not a person who's known for being punctual, so I don't need us to be wrecking my reputation here. I worked very hard to build this laissez-faire, slacker personality.
For sure. So right now, apparently we have 7 people watching, but I don't know who those people are.
Yeah, me either.
How's it going, man?
Man, it's going well. It's going pretty stinking well. I literally just found my wedding ring. So my wife's gonna be pumped.
Nice.
No, literally, like just this second, it was underneath a bunch of stuff on my desk. It was under a bunch of it was under a bunch
Oh, so
of
it's like
extra strings.
So it's like you had it recently and then it disappeared. What's
Yeah.
up, my is it Mylogify? Milo Jiffy? I never know how to read that. See you in
My
our comments
log
all the time.
iffy.
Sassy Cat, what's up? I did see, Philip, that there is a function in StreamYard where I'm not sure if you have to have your own StreamYard account or
Sure.
what, but where you can turn guest streaming on. So if somebody joins as a guest, they have the option in their own settings to simultaneously broadcast.
Oh, that's really fun.
But I guess like the way that would work is if you were to leave, then it would stop broadcasting on your end.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. This seems to be working. I just checked that it is broadcasting over on the 40 Watt podcast as well. So welcome to any of those viewers over there.
I think it should be putting your comments on your end in.
I don't think so, because I'm getting Mylogify and Sassy Cat as well, and I know that both of those very loyal 60 Cycle Hum viewers are not watching via my my stream. So
no, but I'm saying I don't know if you have any.
I see what you're
on your
saying.
side, I think it should still show up here. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, this is all new to us, so we're learning as we go here. So it's it'll be fine. We're gonna figure this all out. I'm going to open up my side and mute that so that it does not stream through.
Yeah. So I just left a comment on yours, and it still puts it within the StreamYard. We're learning a lot here this morning, folks.
Yeah. Welcome to Sunday brunch.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was, so did you lose your wedding ring for a long time, or did you just like?
It's. I've been looking for it for at least a week, and literally just looked down underneath some stuff, and there it was. Well, it was behind a foot switch and under some strings and stuff like that. So, wasn't seeing it. Yeah. My desk is full of, I mean, I'm not going to start. I'm going to do the what's that old YouTube trope of what's in your guitar case? What's on your desk? I'm not going to play that game, but I have a ton of. I need to clean up in here so bad.
I don't know what this means. Welcome to the curve.
I don't know either, but I'll take it. Welcome to the curve, guys. That's what we're going to start calling this, Steve. Not Sunday brunch. We're going to call it the curve.
Oh my gosh. What's up, Lobo? What's up, Mark? Yeah. So the reason I asked that is because like I switched to silicone rings a few years ago. What's up, David? Ridiculous. And the reason for that was because for a long time, so my ring was titanium, and and the whole deal with titanium rings is apparently they don't really wear down. Like gold rings wear down. They don't really wear down. They are very difficult to cut. Like apparently they just shatter. So the upside is when you work with like heavy duty things, I was reading stories where people were like, oh yeah, I dropped this, container on my hand that should have crushed every bone in my hand, but because I have a titanium wedding ring, it saved my hand. But the flip side of it is apparently if you were to pull your hand out fast enough,
Ring avulsion. It's a thing, man.
It's a good way to do that. And this was around the time that I think, was it Jimmy Fallon who had that happen to him?
Yep, that's exactly right. It's Jimmy Fallon.
Guys. And so my ring was like exactly sized to where if I applied enough soap or lotion, I could get it over my big knuckle. And so I finally got it off one day, and I was like, I'm not putting this back on. I was like too freaked out. I was like, I'll just break every bone in my hand. It's fine.
How often are you doing things that would cause you to possibly drop something that could break your hand?
Nowadays I'm not at all.
Yeah.
But that ring, I wouldn't even be able to put it on now.
My wedding ring is it is recycled silver. So
cool.
Yeah, I didn't go with gold or titanium or anything. So,
and that's like the style of ring that I like, is just the real plain. Like the one that I have was kind of like it's beveled on both edges and then flat.
Oh yeah, no, too fancy, man.
Mark says my girlfriend is part titanium.
Oh, me too, Mark. Or Imjbrun. I like trying to pronounce that, not call him by his first name.
I don't really know what that means.
Imjbrun. Well, okay, I'm part titanium as well. I have a steel titanium alloy plate and 7 screws in my leg. So.
Okay, so that's what that means.
At least that's the way I took it, because that's what my situation.
I mean, it's probably what it's supposed to mean, but
yeah,
I definitely was thinking of some weird anime bullshit. So.
Okay. Sassy's been over on mine, and I appreciate him being over on the 40 Watt podcast chat as well. So he's hopping back and forth a little bit.
Yeah. So let's see. We're 7 minutes in. We have not talked about guitar things. Is there guitar news this week? Has there been guitar news in the last 3 weeks?
Yes, there has, because it's been 3 weeks. I feel like I should be drinking out of my Honey Picks mug though, like you are.
I know. I need to hold it the other way, but now I really don't. I really love this mug. I really hate left-handed mugs. And I don't want to see the logo when I'm drinking. I want to show the logo. Maybe
that's exactly right.
Maybe that's like a YouTuber problem.
I own the mug. I know what it says.
Exactly.
I need other people to see what it says. So yeah, a couple of things, but I want to talk about this one first, because this is my heated take for the week.
Hotness.
Yeah, I have screenshots, which I won't be able to share because I have them on my phone, not on my computer. But so there was a gentleman in one of the Facebook groups. Let's see if I was able to save which group it was in. Oh, it was in Pedalboards of Doom.
Okay.
Who went on a tirade. He was like, you know why people post their used pedals for the same price as new or close on Reverb? Because they take an insane cut. I just sold a pedal, and taxes, fees, and shipping label took $35. And then in all caps, $35. Well, later on, he broke it down. Someone asked him, wait. How much was the pedal? And so he did a breakdown. He said total sales, $141.54. Total processing, $5.01. Total seller's fee, $6.50. Total tax remitted, $11.54. Total bump fees, 65 cents. And total shipping label fees, $11.39. So I got like legit irritated. Like legitimately irritated.
Okay, I'm just gonna jump in real quick. So I followed. Aren't shipping fees on top of the sale price? Like they're not.
Only if you don't offer free shipping. If you offer free shipping, you knew you were going to have to ship something. And that's what I told him. I said, so wait. Let me break this down for you. You sold a pedal for $130. You paid $11.39 to ship it. Your buyer paid $11.54 in sales tax. Reverb took $5.01 to cover processing by credit card fees, and Reverb made $6.50 in selling fees, plus the 65 cents in the bump that you opted into. Did
this get pulled down? Because I didn't even see this.
I don't know. But yeah, so I broke it down. Reverb got 5%. He paid 3.85% in credit card processing fees, which is the same thing it costs us at the library to take credit cards. He paid 0.5% in optional bump fees, and the buyer paid $8.87 in sales tax. Reverb literally made a grand total of $7.15 on that sale.
Joe says fees are 30%. But I thought...
But Joe, they're not. Literally the seller's fee is 5%. And then you pay another 3-point-something%, depending on how much it is, for the credit card processing fees. People keep seeing the sales tax and they keep thinking of that as something Reverb took, but it's something that the buyer paid. It didn't come out of the selling fee.
Yeah, and people in the comment, I found that thread on Doom, and people in the comments are saying the same sort of thing, like tax and shipping is
you can't consider tax and shipping as because you got to do those anyway. That's not a Reverb fee. That's something that would happen no matter where you sold it. No, Joe, it was actually 2 years ago, Joe. They upped it to 5% because it was 4% or 3.5% for the seller's fee, and they upped it to 5%. And so, which is way better than eBay. eBay's a 20% fee. Amazon's like a 15% fee.
I think it's Ian. I need to figure out. I talk to this dude all the time, and
Ian, give us a pronunciation. Give us a pronunciation.
In the Discord, and I always read as Ian, but I could be wrong. It's some kind of thing like that. I'm trying to find the last thing that I bought.
Because I can pull up my own sales and break it down if really needed, but it's just it's a misunderstanding of what fees are, what you're going to pay anyway, and the whole sales tax situation. Yes, Ian, we do pay sales tax on secondhand goods on private sales that go through online marketplaces. That was a thing that was done a few years ago as a way to crack down on people who were basically operating businesses but were skirting taking sales tax by doing it on these kinds of platforms. And it is actually it's hurt the individual sellers more than it has done anything else. That's my opinion. That's opinion at that point. That's not fact. I understand why they did it. That doesn't mean I have to like it or agree with the decision.
Yeah. So I'm looking. The last thing that I sold on Reverb was in March 2021.
Oh wow.
And I sold a Matthews pedal for $95. The total was $112.35. I'm looking for a breakdown of. I'm not seeing an actual breakdown of what I had to pay to Reverb on that. So maybe I'm looking I might be looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. Regardless of what the fees are, I've always just kind of thought of it, and this is just me personally, it's the cost of I don't know what it costs to maintain a website. But it is what it is.
And Reverb does a little more than just maintain a website, but okay, here
and well, it's also audience access is the other.
That's it.
It might be so long ago that I sold this that they don't have that
data anymore.
They don't have this is what we cut out of it. This is what we took from you.
Yeah.
But so I just never, I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I'm not selling a ton on Reverb anyway. Probably should be selling more, but.
Well, here, I've got mine. I sold a Paul Cochran Tim V3 back in January, right? I sold it for $200, and I'm sorry, I actually don't see the actual sale price. There it is. I sold it for $210 with $10 shipping, right? Mm-hmm. So grand total, it sold for $237.33. Of that, $17.33 was California sales tax, which that was not in my initial asking price, so ignore all of that. My seller's fee was $11, which comes down to 5% of $210. My processing fee was $7.59, which is about 3.5% of $210. My shipping label fee was $12.38, so I lost $2.38 on shipping because I only charged $10, and I netted $189.03 on a $210 sale.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost 21%. Or no, I'm sorry, $21 ish.
Which is that's I guess probably around a little under 10% is what that works out to.
Yeah, because it's a little under $21. It's actually more like $20 because it's $189. Yeah. So that's the way it works out.
I got a question for you. Have you read about this? Have you looked into this at all? This is a big back and forth, apparently. My answer to this question is yes. I think your question was, or your answer was not yes.
For enjoying, they're interesting. I'm gonna go with interesting. Sassy Joe does have a Discord channel. Good. Sorry, I'm answering questions ahead. Let me grab mine just for reference.
Oh, I have mine right here. Hi.
This one?
That one.
Yeah. I didn't like it at first. I'm going to be real honest. Mm-hmm. But this is real bad. This is the way things work. I had John Snyder on the podcast.
From EAE?
From EAE. And he designed this circuit.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him about it. I understand it a little better now. And what I need to do, I need to change how I was trying to use it. I feel like this thing works better in an amp that's really pushing a little bit rather than a perfectly clean amp. I don't feel like it doesn't do a lot into a, super clean, pristine amp.
Gotcha. I wonder if that's why because to me it sounds really good. It's got like a high mid thing going on. Mm-hmm. And it's simple, like 2 knobs. It either works or it doesn't. But I'm running it into, of course, this back here, 2.8 watt amp that basically starts to saturate. If I dig in at it's set to like 9 o'clock, which is really low even, but if I dig in a little, it'll start to, like with a humbucker, a hot bridge humbucker, it'll start to drive a little bit. So I think it sounds good. I was told I messaged. It's funny because the first one I got, just as disclosure, the first one I got was defective.
Oh, really?
And so I sent it back, and I emailed Matt, and I was like, "Hey, man, mine's defective," and he took care of me like pretty quick, and I got mine back, he was super apologetic, and then I got it back. I messed around with it a little. I was like, "Dude, it sounds great," and he recommended. Let me see if I can find the email real quick. But he recommended running
this setting.
No, it wasn't even a setting. He asked me if I had tried he asked me to try it with a little boost in front. So it sounds like he actually recommends like running a boost into it. So that's something that I haven't tried yet because I've got a couple boosts somewhere.
That's what I get for dropping things on my desk.
I don't know where my boosts are, but I've got a couple boosts somewhere. I need to like put up.
I don't think I have any boosts, but I'm gonna try it as a boost into a drive pedal instead and do the opposite.
And are you trying to hide the branding on that other one, or
no?
Oh, okay. Just I don't know what that is.
That's the Electromotive Sound Clone V3 by Ben Fair. over at Electromotive Sound Co. It's a clone. It's a clone. But he added a high gain notch to it. So it's got a high gain switch. I'm going to use it to this to push that even further.
Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. To me, it sounds good. The follow-up question was, is 1981 the new JHS Colt?
You need to put out more pedals for that.
I think 1981 was the old JHS Colt. I mean,
aren't they really just the same Colt? Does that Venn diagram does that Venn diagram move?
1981's like in a unique place where, you know, Matt is, I guess, because I think they just did a tour pretty recently, is the guitar player for like a decently well-known band, an extremely well-known band in like the Christian music circuit. He's a guitar player for Reliant K.
Right.
Very well known, and like, you know, they were probably the most successful of the early 2000s like Christian pop punk bands. I feel like I'm probably forgetting someone, but I don't know who. You know, they had a couple songs that got regular MTV rotation.
I was about to say they had some crossover success.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by success. Like,
yeah, I remember seeing them at Wayfest back in like 2003 in Nashville.
Yeah. Like as in Way Radio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow their YouTube channel is amusing sometimes.
Oh, is it? I have not checked that out.
The Way. Well, they were doing a lot of like throwback stuff in terms of like, oh, we got our DJs and one Christian artist, and we're gonna listen to song. It's like the Name That Tune. They do a lot of Name That Tune from like 90s Christian pop songs.
Oh yeah. I think that Wayfest was the same Wayfest that I saw Katie Hudson before she became Katy Perry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, their album 7 years ago hit number 6 on the Billboard 100. They've basically put 4 albums in the top 20, which is like, again, like I don't think you have too many Christian artists doing that, particularly like Christian rock artists. So I don't know. It's a thing.
All right. So,
but yeah. So the whole point being that like there's a lot of people who are just fans of the band who will do it. The other thing is basically like Matt is building these or having them built around his schedule, like his personal schedule.
Right.
It's like a 2-person operation. You know, he works with other builders to do the design work, basically and this is like a pretty common thing, because I know some people are like, well, you know, like EAE's really pushing this thing and whatever, but it's actually a lot more common than I think people necessarily realize, where a builder or like a company gets an idea for a pedal and they can get the basic circuit going, but in order to like fine tweak the details, they're partnering with other companies. And then, you know, the level, I call it the level. I've seen other people call it just the LVL.
I call it the level, but I heard Matt call it the LVL. So
I guess it makes sense to call it the LVL, because I do call the other one
you call it a DRV instead of a drive.
Yeah, I don't call it a drive. But
I do think there was a missed opportunity. LVL should be a compressor, but that's just me. If you're going to be the level pedal, it's right. It's a thing. I got to talking to John on the podcast, and John is intimidatingly smart.
Oh yeah, no,
he is like ridiculously intelligent and put together, and he does a lot of the, I don't want to call it ghost building, because ghost designing, as it were, But it's just, he is a guy who knows what he's doing with circuits and gets hired out to help people develop circuits for their companies, which is great that someone like that exists.
I think he was involved. I don't remember specifically which ones.
Yeah.
But he's been involved with at least a handful of the pedals that Caroline Guitar Company has put out.
Oh yeah.
I think the Hawaiian Pizza series, or really the Hawaiian Pizza is one pedal in a bunch of different cases. I think he was co-design on that. I think he's co-design on. I thought there was something else that he co-designed on, but I know at least the Hawaiian Pizza is one of them.
I think of 1981 as, by the way, as like the absolute trendsetter. They wrote the book on what you can do with one pedal and just changing the look of it.
Right. Well, and so that's the thing. And so that's part of the thing is I'm grabbing Sassy. I'm going to put that link in our Discord. So I'm going to put a link to Joe's Discord in my Discord.
While we're at it, Sassy, you are also welcomed in my Discord. There's a fair amount of Gibson talk, so if you're not into Gibson guitars, it might not be your place. But
so I talked to Matt. So that was one of the things too, that like because I think Matt was bummed, like legitimately bummed that I got a dead pedal. And I kind of told him, I was like, man, don't worry about it. Like, because to me, like, it actually probably works out better for everybody that if somebody's going to get like a busted, like, it's like, you don't want to hook your friends up with a bum pedal, but if you're going to hook someone up with a bum pedal, I feel like it's better that you hook your friends up with one.
Well, because you're not going to go online and like try to wreck his reputation over what's inevitable.
F this dude. I got the one bad pedal, you know.
Right. This guy sold 1,500 pedals and one of them was broken.
Yeah, and so so I got that, but yeah, Matt and I, like, we all bummed with the same crew for a couple NAMs. Mm-hmm. So we've couch surfed together. Two of the NAMs that I was in a house, I was like, I'm just gonna sleep on the couch. I'm not whatever. It's like,
sure.
I'm just, the couch is fine. I'll sleep basically anywhere as long as it's not a hard surface. I will sleep pretty much anywhere.
Right, as long as it's not like a hardwood floor, you're good.
Yeah. So so I was on the couch, and so like I said, I think he was kind of bummed about it, but I was just like, you know what, man, like
things happen.
You could have sent it to some douchebag that would have like flipped out, you know. So
yeah. Would have complained about a $35 reverb fee or something like that.
But we all had some long conversations in that house about branding and how, particularly with the DRV, it was so every colorway, like, you know, people were taking like the hyper fades and buying them and then trying to put them on reverb with like a $50 markup.
Yep.
I actually like, I felt a little guilty about it, but I also felt like very like pat my own back, toot my own horn. Uh-huh. We went to Gear Fest last year. There was a DRV on the wall, and I think it was a DRV number 2. I think it was a number 2, which is the same one that I have. Mm-hmm. And they had it listed for like $20 above retail.
Oh yeah.
And I gave them shit about it. I was like, I pulled it off the wall and I looked at the guy at the counter. I'm like, you know, you can buy these brand new for like $250, and you got this thing here for like $280 or whatever. And he was like, well, you know, we just based it off of like the reverb prices. I was like, Matt just released a brand new batch of these. Like the prices are plummeted in the last month. And he was like, you know, like whatever. I was like, okay, I'll look into it. The next day I came back and it was repriced to match retail. Like, if you're going to match retail, that's fine. Like for that pedal, I understand why you would only match retail. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because I told Ryan, I was like, I feel bad.
Nah, don't feel bad. Call people on their ish, even when you like them. Maybe especially if you like them.
Well, it's also just bad because we're there as their guests, and it's like,
well, hey, you got an invite back.
Shitting
so
on the used gear market's our shtick. So we kind of gotta stick to the stick, but still felt a little bad about it. The other pedal I got this week, and I don't know if he jumped in. I know he was on the Discord when you posted it. Is I got the Cicada. My camera's over here. The Cicada from Gearant. This thing is a trip. The phaser side is wild. That volume fuzz setting, that's the only one that I've run it at because there's so much on tap. It is hot. So
dang.
But it sounds really cool. It's a pretty unique fuzz. The phase fuzz combo is basically gets you into laser beam territory real fast. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, see, I don't have anything like that. I don't have any fuzz plus anything. I just have plain old standalone boring fuzzes. So I can't relate. I got a couple of things new, but they're not pedals. They're too big. They're too much trouble to grab and show.
Are they amps?
Well, there's this right here. There's the pedal steel.
Oh, lap steel, pedal steel.
Yeah, that I still suck at. I'm still awful. I'm going to be awful for at least a year, and that's fine. I want to be able to play it. I love the sound of pedal steel, and so I leave it set up so that I can mess with it, and it's bad. It's so out of tune. Even though the thing is tuned, I've verified. I don't know how it can sound so out of tune, but yeah. But the fun one that I can just pick up is I traded for this.
Ooh. What is that?
Matches your shirt.
It does.
So this is a made in Mexico. It is a made in Mexico 60s lacquer Jazzmaster. So it's a made in Mexico but nitro finished Jazzmaster. Yeah. You know, it's dinged up. It's got some scratches and some wear, and the guy who had it used a nylon strap for a little while and kept the strap in the case. So it's got, the camera's not really picking them up, but it's got some marks on it. But I wanted to get back into a Jazzmaster because I didn't have one anymore. And so I wanted a proper one too, because the last one I had was the classic player, and it had, the Tune-O-Matic instead of the actual like rocking bridge that it's supposed to have. So I'm going to slowly, upgrade this one a little bit. I've got a pick guard coming soon because I cannot do that stark white against surf green. That is just, it hurts my eyes. So I'm going to do a torque guard. I've already got a set of Seymour Duncan Antiquity pickups to put in it. And then we'll see. The next step down the road will be a mastery to put on it. And then that'll be my Jazzmaster.
Taylor Swift says that guitar reminds me of Damascus.
Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate you taking time out of your tour to talk about Jazzmasters. Thanks, Lucid.
I think that's Taylor Swift, right?
I believe it is. I think that's younger Taylor Swift too. That's like not current Taylor Swift. But yeah, it plays great. Right now I've got 11s on it, tuned down to C sharp, I think is what I have it tuned down to now. I'm probably gonna bring it back up to D though. I put 11s on it, tuned it up to standard. I was like, whoa no. This feels like playing bridge cable. It's just too heavy.
That's I think I would talk to you a little bit about it, and I posted in the 60 Cycle Home Facebook group. I had my Les Paul out the other day, and I'm pretty sure it has 10s on it, and I think I'm going to pick up some the next time I'm down at Ryan's, which should be this week if I remember, and if he has some. I think I'm definitely going to take those to the Stringjoy 10.5s.
Oh, really?
We go a little bit heavier because I think that guitar will take it. I think that guitar will take it. I think that
just get it comfortable to play again.
Yeah, well, because I mostly just play my Fender stuff, and the just that 3/4 of an inch difference in scale length.
Oh, dude,
changes the feel between a Gibson and a Fender. The problem is when I'm playing like the Strat, and also my Tele doesn't have like the greatest action in it. I think the neck needs a shim, honestly, to kind of fix the action because it's. But I need to look at it. It doesn't help that it's a neck heel. I'm pretty sure it's a neck heel truss adjustment, so there's no like easy way to switch, do the old switcheroonie there.
Oh yeah,
but,
I see Ryan Doom Master. Yeah, it's tuned down to C sharp for the Doom. No, it sounds really good. I liked it better sounding in D than I do in C sharp though. With the Les Paul, I have recently gone back down to 10s on my Les Pauls because or my Gibson scale length guitars because I don't know, my wrists are just aging, and I don't know if I'm starting to feel the beginnings of arthritis or something, but I just couldn't. It just was getting hard to play, and so I played a 2-hour gig the other night on acoustic only, and at the end of the night, my wrist was like, I don't like this. Right. So 2 hours with almost no break was rough.
Yeah, I've just been doing the playing more. That's kind of like the nice thing about the lessons that we've had sponsoring the show.
Oh yeah.
Is that it kind of like it, and I mentioned this on the show before, like it gave me like a excuse for lack of a better word. There's probably a better word, but I'm going to say excuse.
Reason.
Reason, like a focused reason to like pick up the guitar rather than like, oh, I'm gonna go like I meant, and this is how I described on the show. Like previously, the way that I would approach lessons is like, oh, I'm gonna go or learning was just that like I'm gonna go on to Ultimate Guitar and find a tab of a song that I like. But then because it's like not really guided, it's like I would spend like 5 or 10 minutes messing around with this this tab, and then I'd be like, close enough, and then like go do and then be like, go do something else. So the nice thing with the pickup music is even like the individual, like it's not I don't know how other lesson programs are set up. I know like you can always go to YouTube and do lessons on YouTube. One of the things I liked about the pickup music thing, they're not sponsoring this live stream. They're not sponsored. We actually are at the end of our sponsorship with them. So
good. I can mention TrueFire then because I am still sponsored.
Well, and you can tell me I haven't checked out TrueFire. I know with like a lot of YouTube lessons, they tend to be like longer videos, like because you're gonna and the nice thing about the thing that I like about pickup music is it's each within a day. So within a day, there's like maybe 4 exercises. So there's like maybe 5 videos, 4 exercises. So there's like an intro video, and that intro video that's going to walk you through like here's all the things we're going to do today is maybe like 5 minutes long. And then each one of the exercise videos is just the length of the exercise.
Okay.
With some introduction. So it might be like so the one that I've been doing is, of course, I've mentioned it, is the caged one. And an exercise might be is, hey, we're gonna, in the key of D, we're gonna tie together the pentatonic scale between these 2 positions, right? And it's just walking up and down those 2 positions. So the video is just going to be talking about, here's what we're going to do. Let me show you this in real time. Let me show you this in halftime. And then the actual exercise itself. And so it's got the video, and the video synchronized with tablature that's just below the video. And so that whole video, just going up and down the scale 4 times, is maybe like 2.5 minutes long.
Oh, so
you could feasibly do that 2.5 minute segment, and you don't have to pause the video. You could just be like, oh shit, like my roast is burning in the oven or whatever,
right?
and go do something else, and then come back, and then you just go to the next video. So I think that's kind of like one of the things that I thought was really neat is like even within like today is day 5. Like day 5 is broken down into like 4 or 5 discrete videos that you can do it. So
with TrueFire, it's a little different, and that's why I'm really interested in the play music as well, because I'm really curious how that is in comparison. Because with TrueFire, like there's a bunch of different options of how you want to learn. There's different instructors, there's different styles in there. Like, oh, I want to learn rhythm guitar chops from Greg Koch, right? Or Koch, or however you say his name. Or, oh, I want to learn jazz voice leading from Tim Lurch. Or I want to get better at my blues phrasing with let's see if I can go through and find a blues one real quick. Believe it or not, I've not been taking the blues lessons, so I don't know. I've been trying to learn things I don't already play on a regular basis. I think Kirk Fletcher may have one. Matt Schofield's on here a bunch, got a bunch of lessons, but it's like it's a lot of different instructors and lessons. It is a lot, and you can vary, and each one, instead of doing it in chapters like you and like a logical, yours sounds more like a school curriculum, if I'm honest. It sounds like what I've dealt with in the past with some other lesson courses, which I like. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. This is more of a, hey, I very specifically want to target, I want to learn better jazz chords, and so here's a whole lesson all around jazz chording, and it's like multiple lessons with tab and each lesson is separated into little segments, and there's play along segments and stuff like that. But they also have, which I've never used, which if I ever get back in a cover band, I will. They've got entire song study lessons where you just focus on learning how to play this song.
Oh, okay. That's what because we also did one thing. We did lesson sponsorship of maybe a couple of years ago with Guitar Tricks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And Guitar Tricks also has the whole deal with like you go in there and there's like a breakdown of songs. And it's not as much classroom. And I think, and again, like you said, like it's super about learning style, because of, it's like, do you want to learn? Like, there's a point where it's like you want to learn songs. I feel like where I'm at in my playing is that I'm not comfortable enough with the movements on guitar to be to like learn, just like to drive my own learning basically. So it's like I'm what I'm doing right now is a lot of like getting comfortable and understanding like, oh, this is how these things tie together, and just getting more comfortable. So
that makes sense.
But yeah, there's like not really, so a lot of the tracks that are on pickup music are clearly inspired by other things, or they're just like general, like they'll be like, oh, we're gonna do this, you're gonna learn this octave run, which is just an octave thing. His True Fire styles of
yes, yes,
that's like in the style of like a John Mayer. Like, so they had a track called Gravitation that's like designed to be like gravity-esque. So it's in that style, but you're not learning gravity. You're just given a backing track that's kind of like that slow, like kind of 6/8 feel of gravity. So
I gotcha. To answer Joe's question real quick, yes, there are lots of other styles. Obviously, there's a lot of blues because it's such a popular guitar style, but there's stuff in country, jazz. There's a lot of like when I say rock and roll, I mean like classic rock and like shred rock kind of thing. I would say the majority of it
Boomer
tends
music.
to be, the majority of it tends to be blues, country, and jazz.
Yeah.
So, but I'm in the app right now, and I'm gonna pick, like, for example, there's a bunch of lessons on just fingerstyle guitar, like classical guitar. If you wanted to learn that, there's a bunch of lessons. There's a bunch of Tommy Emmanuel lessons on there. Like, he's done a bunch of lessons for them.
Okay.
Andy McKee has done some lessons for them. Let's see. I'm going to click around here a little bit just to give a few other things that are in here. There's some funk stuff, but really a lot of it isn't just in styles. They do a lot of lessons on technique or like rhythm comping or stuff like that. So classical melodies, Brazilian jazz guitar. So it bounces around a lot of that stuff. And then there are a lot of lessons on theory, that's my game. I love music theory way more than anyone should love music theory. I'm not as good at it as some folks, but there are some lessons that aren't guitar as well. They've had a few, I think they had some mandolin stuff, some piano stuff. I'm trying to think of some others because honestly, it's easier to search this stuff on the website than the app. The app is for when you like know what you're going for, in my opinion. They have an entire course load for late beginner. So I really like that.
Yeah, that is, I don't know. I don't think from what I've seen, I guess I haven't looked at the lessons too much. I don't know that pickup music has anything that's really designed for like, this is the first time you've ever picked up a guitar. Like, there's not really any like true beginner things. Like, even the stuff that I started with, it was like, you have to be able to play all of your, which is like, you basically have to be able to play like the 3 bar chord forms.
Right, exactly.
Like the 3 main, so like the C shape, which I never used that shape, but I could adapt to it pretty easily. And then your A bar chord and your E bar chord. And if you can't do those and be comfortable with them, basically up through like the 15th fret, then you kind of can't do much with it. I want to throw this one back up.
Yeah, I want to come back from to this
earlier.
Even though Ryan's bounced out now.
The Waylon Jennings Telecaster is a leather-bound Telecaster. I don't know. Ryan's in the chat. Maybe he wants to talk about it.
I think he bounced. I think he had to go do morning things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I suspect that this will not ever happen. It is kind of weird. So I'm looking at one on Reverb, is $1,500, and yeah, it's a leather-bound Telecaster. I don't know if we ever talked about.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't have to do that. Brian could literally get a Squire Telecaster and get someone to do the leather. You can buy the leather thing separately. You don't have to get the actual one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Waylon Telecaster looks like something that if Waylon had not played it, y'all would rag it on the podcast.
I mean, even though he played it, we still might rag on the podcast.
Yeah, the banjo tuner, so it could go down to D. It's got.
Is it like a quick release deal?
Yeah, it's a quick. So some banjo tuners, because banjo players would switch tuning so fast, they would have 2 set screws. You see on the side.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they could set one is E, and they set the other as a stop to get back to D, so they can actually change tuning on the fly mid song.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. And listen, all you need is that Telecaster, a Fender Super 6, and a orange phaser, MXR phaser.
Right. So that's the other part on there, is I don't really know like what Waylon Jennings tone means.
He was like the progenitor of that phaser country sound of the 70s.
But I do think everybody should own, even though I don't own one. I do think everybody needs a Fender Super 6. The Fender 2-channel 100-watt 6x10.
God, I love them. I love them so much, and I don't own one, and I should.
What does this thing weigh? Like 140 pounds?
I don't know, because I'm not willing to try to pick one up. Does that one list a weight there?
Oh, this is actually a Super Reverb. I'm
yeah,
not
that's
even
a plain old Super.
I don't even see any Super 6s on Reverb right now.
98 pounds is what one weighs.
Oh, that's it? That's actually lighter than I thought it would be.
Yeah. So they made a couple of variations of that monster. So there's the obviously Super Reverb's a big amp. And if you're vertically challenged like I am, it's a real problem to carry, because the cabinet is so tall that you have to lean to pick it up.
Yeah.
Tall folks don't have that problem. They can just literally pick it up and walk. I have to lean the whole time I'm carrying it. But they also made the Super 6, which is 100-watt, more like a twin reverb with 6 10-inch speakers.
Yeah.
Derek Trucks used those for a little while when he was playing with the Allman Brothers, because his Super Reverbs weren't loud enough. So but they also made, and this is the other one, the Quad Reverb. It's the 412 version of a twin reverb.
The 412 version.
It's a 412 combo, and it's unbelievably cool. I've not owned one of those personally, but I've played I don't know, 6 or 7 of them.
There it is, Quad Reverb. I'm looking at apparently the website is not secure, even though it's owned by Mojo Tone. Ampwares.com is an old great resource for these old Fender amps. I used to reference it a ton.
That's where I got the weight for the Super 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
a quad reverb's
on there right now.
A quad reverb's only 90 pounds, and I have picked those up. So if a Super 6 is 8 pounds more, no, just no. Don't recommend. They're cool 70s amps, but yeah, that's also what I think Albert Collins, blues player, played through, and he would just crank it and just destroy people's ears. And anyway.
Yeah, Joe, the site isn't safe. I don't know why. I probably have a virus now. It doesn't have so my browser, at least I'm using Edge. But if you try to go to any site that isn't HTTP secure, it'll flag it up.
Gotcha.
So I had to run it as an HTTP because there was no HTTPS available.
Wow.
Now I feel like I need to go back and check out some Waylon Jennings, because I haven't listened to any of his stuff in years, and I just don't really remember anything.
Yeah, I need to go back and learn some of those riffs. So bouncing away from that though, and what's new. So first of all, I need to mention this. Because I'm running up against a deadline. I've got an offer that expires in about an hour on a Rascal Bass HH in Sherwood Green. Do I buy it or not?
The answer, of course, is yes.
It's like, it's so rad, it's so cool, but also it's like, do I really need another bass?
I mean, the real answer is you need to save up another $1,000 and get one of the Fender ones.
Yeah, but the Fender one is 3 single coils, and I really like that dual split humbucker.
Yeah, me too. I think
really like the look of that. Now, what I really need is I need to buy the body off that one and buy the neck off the Fender one.
Just smash it together.
Yeah, smash it all together. I don't know. It's real tempting. Steve managed to kick himself out of here. He'll be back here in a moment. I'm real used to this. But yeah, I am going to share this thing. I'm not going to share the one that I'm looking at so that nobody goes and buys it. But it is a super rad looking instrument. Welcome back, Steve.
Oh, it's giving me my other camera now.
Yeah, it is. That's okay.
Crap.
There you go.
All right, there we go. I'm trying to like lounge in here a little bit, and I kicked. I think I.
Oh, you kicked the cable.
The camera that I have, the cable is not great, and it basically chops itself out pretty easily. Also, I just realized.
Whoa. You've been using the wrong microphone the whole time. Now you're muted.
The whole time.
Look at that.
And now, am I muted now?
No, you were for a second there, just for a brief second. So let me share my screen,
Glitch
Steve.
City.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, here
since
we
you
go.
have control, there we go. Yeah, buddy. This thing is so incredibly rad.
Is this the only color they do it in?
No, they do it in what they call a metallic black, but it just looks black. It doesn't look special to me. It just looks like a black.
You probably have to zoom in on it. It's probably one of these that where it doesn't, because they do these white background photos, it probably just doesn't show up.
Oh yeah. So let's see. Well, let's pull up the black finish. Oh, I see it a little bit.
Yeah, this kind of looks like the black sparkle that they did on a lot of bases in the early 2000s, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's fine. To me,
the matching headstock is cool.
Yeah, I still think.
Oh, and these are string throughs.
Oh yeah, no, they're string through, like, legit. But to me, I mean, so I'm gonna go back here. Just that green looks so good with the matching headstock for $450.
Yeah,
but
you're right. You know, how many bases do you have? How many do you need?
I have two. I have a P bass and a jazz bass. I have a Fender P bass. I have a Squier jazz bass. This one's short scale though.
Are they short scale?
Yeah, they're 30-inch scale.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, dude. They're so cool. It's like all the other paranormal stuff. Yeah, it looks fine. Actually, I'm gonna be that guy. I really hate the Strat with the tele loadout. I hate it. It just looks, to me visually, it's not appealing at all. It looks like guitar spaghetti thrown against a wall. But this one, I'm super into.
The Strat with the I'm looking for it on.
Oh yeah, what was it?
There it is. This Nashville Stratocaster. Yeah, I think I would have liked this as a dumb idea better if they would have just called it. So I don't know. Like, I understand it's the Nashville Telecaster loadout.
Yeah,
but I think it would have been conceptually more interesting to me if it was just a straight tele loadout on a Strat. And so that way you basically had the Nashville versions of each of these guitars were the flipped. So, the Nashville Telecaster is a Telecaster with a Strat configuration, and the Nashville Strat is a Stratocaster with a Telecaster configuration.
I'm gonna try to share a different screen. Apparently it did not like me because every time I clicked on it, it just opened it in a new window. Therefore it wasn't sharing it.
Now, that being said, double bound Stratocaster for $430.
Okay,
is pretty wild.
let me. I need to bounce my opinion a little bit. The only one I had seen before was in the other finish,
the gold.
Yeah, I really actually like this one in Sunburst because I'm such a traditionalist, and it's already got the plate reversed. I didn't even notice that. It's already it's already got the plate reversed to the way I like it.
The Jazzmaster Tele. Have I seen that one?
Yeah, did I see that one?
I don't know if I've seen that one. I forget what all's in this lineup. I didn't realize they re-released the Tornado.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna pull up Fender's website, and we're gonna look at all of the new ones because this is the new Rage. We're now a week and a half.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, they did a Paranormal Cabernita thin line that has 2 Jazzmaster pickups in it. That looks good.
Yeah.
I know Ryan and I have already talked that we're hoping
So here we
that
go.
these are all either all in the guitar section at Sweetwater, or if Fender is at Gearfest, that they will have at least some of these set up.
So here's the finish. Yeah, there's the one I saw. The
gold.
Yeah, the gold. And I was like, I don't like that at all. That doesn't look good at all to me.
It's kind of, it's weird. The pickup or the cream on gold is tricky, I think. And in this case, it's not really working.
To me, it's one of those things that, and it's probably because it's so ingrained in like the things we're used to seeing. Cream on gold is a Gibson aesthetic to me, and when it's on something else, it looks weird.
But the Gibson cream on gold, like the cream is just the little pick guard and the humbucker ring, so it's not like it's not taking over.
And the little medallion around the switch and
poker chip.
The poker chip. Thank you. That's the term. See that I didn't realize that's the other color.
Yeah, the other color I think looks
awesome.
I still wish it just conceptually. I wish it was no middle pickup.
Oh yeah. That now you could do that because that looks like it's just a regular Telecaster pickup. I mean, pick guard, isn't it?
Yeah, take the pickup out, put a new pick guard on it. You could do it.
You could do it. That would look rad.
So head back to that main page.
Yeah, I just had. Oh wait. Go back. I've got to. So I changed my opinion a little bit on that. I just don't like that finish.
Where's the so they brought, a lot of these are calling paranormal, but I don't think they're any different than when they were out. Like the Stratosonic just looks like a Stratosonic.
Yeah, it does. It just looks like a Stratosonic, which I think is a very cool guitar.
Yeah.
Because this, especially in this color, that is a Les Paul special.
It is. Or it's the one that Gibson and Satellite got in a fight over.
Oh yeah, the Cornet.
The Cornet, yeah.
Yeah. But I see that. I see a Les Paul special, junior special, because it's got the wrap tailpiece. It's got the dual P90s. It's got volume tone and a 3-way switch. Even's got the black headstock. And that is Gibson's color. That red, that crimson red transparent. That is the color of like the SG, the special juniors.
Can we all admit that the most important feature of the guitar is the color?
Yes. Also 24 3/4 scale length.
Oh, they really are trying to
and a 12-inch radius. It's Gibson.
It's a Gibson.
That's what that is. This is it. If you're not into Gibson, but you've always wanted that dual P90 24 3/4 thing, this is your guitar.
Yeah. What's okay, so let's find this Telecaster. I've got the
You got something? Because I'm not seeing.
Is there not this one? Is it not loading more?
No, it's just 6. It's only 6. That's all that's out in the paranormal right now.
That's interesting.
This is it. They've got the Jazzmaster 12, which I think is real cool. Real cool. They've got the Rascal bass, the Stratosonic, the weird Tele-Strat thing, that what we're going to talk about here in a second, and they've got the Tornado, which looks cool. It looks like a cool guitar, but of the guitars, this is the one that excited me.
That's weird. Why is that all they have on their website?
Because isn't that all that's the rest of them aren't made anymore? They're you got to buy them used or new old stock. Isn't that the case?
I don't know.
I thought they only released these for a specific amount of time.
This is what I'm seeing on Sweetwater, and you can add it to your cart. I think this is what Sassy is talking about.
Whoa. Yeah, that's not on Fender's website.
And now this one,
I'm not a fan of. Well, it's hard to tell if this is a matte finish or not. If this is the matte finish, I kind of. No, it is glossy. Damn.
Yeah, you know what I don't like though? I hate that untinted maple.
Yeah, same. But usually when it's untinted, it's also matte.
So yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
That looks like a visual representation of white people fried chicken. That's what that untinted maple looks like to me.
Now, one of the things that's like, I want to hate it, but it kind of works. Normally, with this kind of overall aesthetic, you would expect it to be double bound.
Yeah,
but I think it works.
I like the body. I like the look of. Ignore the neck. Actually, click over on the different models. Click over to the light blue. It's got the Laurel fingerboard.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get the Laurel fingerboard in the Sunburst, that would be it for me. Oh, matching headstock too?
Yeah, this one's got matching headstock. Let's see. I think the Lake Placid, I kind of feel like the
no matching headstock
on the Lake Placid works.
See, that looks like Lake Placid. The blue on the bases we have, this does not look like Lake Placid.
I've never been to Lake Placid, so I don't really know what it looks
no,
like.
I mean the color, the traditional Fender color.
Right. No, I know.
This is too blue. Oh, that one's more expensive too. That one's, what's that, $100 more?
Almost. Yeah, it's about $90 more. Why is it?
Wow.
I wonder why. Is it more just because of the
matching headstock maybe? And the Laurel fingerboard?
Yeah, the matching headstock and the fingerboard.
No, I like that a lot. Cabronita thin line Telecaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not.
So it's on Sweetwater. I don't know why it's not on the Fender site.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know either. But I really like that Paranormal Esquire while we're talking about him though. So
Ian brought this up earlier. What is it about Fender Squire naming everything Sonic? They just love that hedgehog.
But Gibson does the same thing with the word special. Everything is special. Everything is special.
Isn't special in Gibson's a specific like that it's well, no, because I guess like an SG special isn't SGs are already flat tops.
Yep. And also even in SG, for example, my SG that I have is an SG special, but it is dual humbucker with a big pick guard and a gloss finish. Then later they came out with the SG Special Faded, which is the same guitar with a faded finish. Then they have the SG Special, which is the SG with P90s. And it's like they just use that same word over and over again on guitars all the time. And just, I think now it has become special means dual. Well, no, it means dual P90s.
Oh, okay.
So
because I'm seeing a lot of like the dual P90s, but also with the wraparound tail.
Yeah. Well, I think originally, like
SG specials,
you go back to the launch of the Les Paul Jr., whatever year that was. I used to know this information off the top of my head. When they launched the SG Les Paul Jr., they also later launched the Les Paul Special, which was just a junior with 2 P90s,
right,
instead of 1. So I think they've gone back to that original use. But yeah, look at what Fender did with the Tone Master. Tone Master did not used to mean some modeling amp. It was a custom shop 100-watt 2-channel tube amp.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Johnny Lang used to use them. Dave Grohl is using them right now on the road. He uses a custom audio. Who is that, sir? No, I can't think. But yeah, Dave Grohl's using a Fender Tone Master amp.
Fascinating. I'm looking at they produced 1993 to the present. Well, it's calling it the present.
Wait,
but
really?
This is a different amp.
No way they still make those.
Yeah, I don't know. This is from Ampwares, so it might not be updated.
So
but yeah, I
here I'll share just because I like sharing pictures so that people can see things. Here you go. You just have to approve it. There we go.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm
that
looking at.
Is a Fender Tone Master.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't is this on Reverb? How much
this is on Reverb? They want $5,000.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, no, I don't think maybe they're worth that to 2002 is when they went till. Oh, 94 to 2002. So yeah, if you want a reasonably priced one, here's one for $2,650.
Oh yeah, let me pull out my checkbook.
Well, that's a more realistic price for a custom shop 100-watt tube amp with speaker cabinet.
Yeah, that's also a speaker cabinet that will fit great. I'll put the cabinet in speaker cabinet if I had that in my room.
Yeah, I wanted one of these amps for a long time because Johnny Lang played through one. So
yeah, my biggest gripe to what Michael's saying here, that Fender uses names over and over again. My biggest gripe was when they did that with the Starcaster.
Yes.
That was the one where I just that was like
on. I was flipping through photos as if anyone could actually see what I was flipping through because it opened in another tab.
Oh,
so yeah. But yeah, Starcaster, because Starcaster was both a semi-hollow, very unique design for Fender.
Yeah.
And it was also the cheapest guitar they ever produced.
Yeah, that one doesn't make any. That's weird. I don't like it. That one bothers me. And it's very I feel like it was pretty. Like I said, this Tone Master thing, I forgot those existed. I've probably seen them before, but I don't know how well known that series really was. Whereas the Starcaster was a production line model. It was designed to be basically Gibson or Fender's answer to the ES335.
Right. Yeah, with the Tone Master, that was a custom shop thing. Yeah. That was those were expensive amps before we understood what expensive amps were. Yeah. Nowadays we understand what expensive amps are.
They try to make Starcaster as a whole. That's right. It's a hollow body from the 70s. It's a cheap Strat. It's because it became
their budget
brand, sub brand for Squier that they would sell at Walmart, which also was and I unplugged my camera again. Damn it.
But at least you're still here this time.
Which is also what the Rogue, at one point Rogue was a Fender OEM situation.
Yeah. No, Rogue. I thought Rogue was Guitar Center's house brand.
I think they've been multiple.
Okay. That tracks. I have a Rogue acoustic in my office at work.
Yeah, it's weird. But, either way, it's I'm fine with Fender bringing stuff back. I'm even fine with a company saying this is the new Starcaster and it's if it's going to be a totally redesign, but at least put some respect on it. Don't here's the new, I guess they didn't brand it as the new Starcaster. They just wanted to make a X-Caster and that they could sell at Walmart where, and then now you go on Craigslist or whatever, offer up, and you've got Fender, Squier, Starcaster, Stratocaster for sale, and and people are this is worth $400 because I saw a Mexican one, and
oh god,
it was $400 or whatever. Oh,
yeah, I don't know. The reusing of words really gets on my nerves because it creates a lot of confusion later down the line. But I also have to look at it from the other end. The concept of coming up with a new name for a product line in 2023 has to be terrible because now you've got 2,000 pedal companies taking up every name. You've got I don't know how many amp companies. I know we keep talking about how like nobody's using amps anymore, or it's less than it ever was. I feel like there's still more amps out there than there ever have been at any given time.
Oh yeah, no, there definitely are. Well,
I feel like there's more amp brands producing amps today than ever before, and there's more amp options than ever before. Even though maybe sales are down individually, maybe they've saturated that market. Maybe that's what's really happened, is there's enough companies building that there's not enough demand for that many. Whereas pedals, there's always going to be, as pedal boards grow and pedal collections grow, there's always going to be a more demand for more and more guitar pedals. And guitars, obviously, looking behind me, you can't have too many guitars, apparently.
I'm looking at the Mikey Way. That's another one that I'm wondering if they're gonna have at Sweetwater.
I didn't get excited about that one, I got to admit.
It's just pretty,
I guess. So we know I'm a curmudgeon already. If anybody's ever listened to my show, you know I'm a curmudgeon. I don't. First of all, I don't like maple fingerboards. Period. But I get it. I really don't like black blocks on maple fingerboards.
Yeah, that's kind of a interesting choice. The pickups, they're calling them 70s style. I don't,
which that's that neck. That neck is so 70s to me.
Yeah.
But I love that silver sparkle.
So
later, Lobo.
There is kind of some aspects to this where I'm kind of like,
yeah, it's like
they're kind of like meaning. It's like kind of a nothing burger of parts.
That made in?
It's $1,500 made in Mexico.
Yeah, that's a $1,500 made in Mexico. That's right up there with the Isbell Strat.
Yeah. So,
and I do love my Isbell Strat. I did not pay new price for it, but I also didn't get it given to me like some folks do. Must be nice.
Do you follow Jason Isbell on Twitter?
I used to until I ditched all of my Twitter accounts. I don't have a Twitter account anymore.
He is an amusing Twitter guy.
Yeah.
Because Jason Isbell is he's very outspoken in his writing. Basically, it seems like he kind of has a very poetic stream of consciousness where an idea pops into his head. But it's funny because it seems like at least once a month he gets in a fight with his fan base.
Yes. I was hoping that's where you were going.
Yeah, because with Pride and everything this month. I don't remember what he posted, but he posted something I think that was related to that, either related to that or related to Trump or something else, something socio-political, and
well, because he is country tangent.
Yeah,
he gets some pretty. I'm trying to walk the wire here.
No, he's got your
conservative
country,
base.
You got a conservative base, but I'm not like the biggest Jason Isbell fan in terms of like I just don't. Everything I've heard of his, I love.
Okay,
but I haven't I don't like there. And there was a stretch where I was listening to, like Southeastern on repeat for like a month straight. I probably listened to it I listened probably through it at least 3 times a week for a month. But between Southeastern and then his biggest album, the Nashville Sound, which has the track White Man's World on it, which is a basically a whole takedown. It's like, so you're listening to this guy, you're following this guy on Twitter who makes this music, and his biggest album has a song about basically white privilege, but you're surprised when he goes woke on Twitter. Like,
right.
What is this? And then so the funny thing on this thread was he posted something and somebody replied to it. Oh, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, I don't want to hear politics from my music artist. I just canceled my concert tickets. Well, I don't go to enough concerts to know this. Apparently, that's basic. Well, so his response was, "Good. I didn't want you there anyway."
Love it.
But beyond that, the rest of his fan base started calling out this account because apparently, thanks to, Live Nation, Ticketmaster, whoever, it's basically impossible to cancel concert tickets.
Oh.
And I've never, I don't buy enough concert tickets to know. Yeah. But some people were saying, some people said, if you buy, at the time you buy your ticket, if you buy the the ticket insurance, then you can cancel and you only lose the insurance deposit. But actually, the person who said that also said that in those cases, what actually happens is the artist still gets paid. The artist still gets your money. The insurance company is just going to refund you. So they're going to refund you your ticket minus the insurance. But the artist is still getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they got your money basically.
Yeah. So people were like, "Oh, cool. So you're not going to go to the show." But if that was the case, most people just assumed that it was a drive-by, troll who didn't buy tickets to begin with.
Most likely.
Yeah, it was just this goofy thing. And I don't know, Isbell's kind of just a real funny.
I think he's a great follow. If you're on Twitter, he's a great follow. Because the DGAF is strong with him because he doesn't. He's gonna make his music. I appreciated when that documentary came out. I'm trying to remember if it was Netflix or HBO or they did a documentary here recently about him.
Oh, really?
You ought to watch it. I can't remember the title, but just look up, Jason Isbell documentary. And it talks about during lockdown, the making of their album. It goes into his substance abuse back when he is, a recovering alcoholic. Yeah. His alcoholism is what got him kicked out of the drive-by truckers.
Right.
And it's very real. And to be honest, the documentary does not paint him in the brightest of lights.
No.
It shows a very real, damaged human being, and he owns it. He's like, yeah, because I'm still growing and figuring all this out.
It's called Music Box, and it's on HBO.
Okay. Yeah, because I could not remember it.
Or no, it's called
Running with Our Eyes
Running
Closed.
With Our Eyes Closed. But it's on HBO Max.
Yep.
Which is now just Max, good. I guess.
I can't keep up. It's HBO. Check that out. It's really good. I may rewatch that today, actually, while I'm trying to clean up in here in the studio.
Yeah. So there's I don't know, there are certain I'm
just gonna say, Steve, it's like, and it's a trope at this point. It's a cliche, but it's like the people who were suddenly surprised that Rage Against the Machine was political.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Midnight Oil, so I don't really know what this is referencing, but I am amused by it. I just know that actually I know very little about them in general. But there was one, I will say, was it John Cougar Mellencamp is also known for, and he but he was in, I think it was playing in Cleveland. And on the one hand, people show up, and I don't know how much rambling he does, but apparently they're calling it a meltdown in Cleveland because basically he told the audience that if they don't shut the fuck up, somebody from the crowd yelled at him to play the fucking music.
Oh gosh.
And he got on the mic and basically said, if these people don't shut the fuck up, I'm just gonna leave. And I'm kind of like, all right, he said I'm just going to leave. If I wanted to play this type of drunken environment, I'd play outside or I'd play in an arena. So I don't know what Connor Palace is in Cleveland because I don't know anything about Cleveland. So I don't know if that's like a more intimate venue, maybe. It is a 2,700 seat theater at Cleveland State University. So on the one hand, like I guess I kind of like sympathize because 2,700, I guess for him would be a more intimate format. You know, you don't necessarily want to deal with hecklers, but on the other hand, like I don't know, I kind of see it both ways in his case because it's like he's been in this business since 1976.
Ooh, really?
He's kind of at like the tail end of his so like like what Jack and Diane came out in 1982.
Wow.
So he like broke out in the early 80s. So I don't know. Like I was kind of like mixed about that take, but it's also because it's like his music is just very like it's that, you know, in my brain, John Mellencamp is like Bruce Springsteen light, and I already think
that's who he is in my head too. So I'm glad you said that.
Bruce Springsteen is like not cool. I don't know. Like he's kind of whatever. I'm not like it's not. I've never done a deep dive into Bruce Springsteen, so I just don't. I probably just have
I've done a couple of hardcore album listens, but not like a big deep dive. So I will say that. So just to go back to the Midnight Oil thing, because I decided to look at this. I knew they were political, but so they're Australian.
Mm-hmm.
So to give you an idea of their how freely they are political, their frontman even had Peter Garrett had a political career.
Like, fascinating.
Yeah, but apparently they were the closing ceremony band for the Sydney Olympics in 2000, and they took the stage and played Beds Are Burning, which is their 1987 protest song about the theft of land from Australia's indigenous population. So they're very political.
I think this will show. I don't know how much of this I'm going to play.
And audio and
Did
home
you see
experiences.
This?
Whether you're now to your favorite 80s metal band,
can you hear it?
Latest show
I can hear it.
Work.
Okay.
We continue to focus on
I don't know what this guitar is.
Inspire and bring us closer together.
Let's
start off with what's new for AirPods. Here's Ron to tell you more.
Apparently, Apple, one of their executives, this is Craig. This was from guitar.com. Oh, I gotta change where I'm presenting from.
13 million views. How did I miss this?
Well, this is from their launch the other like a week ago. Senior Apple exec taps like Eddie Van Halen on monstrous triple neck guitar in new Apple keynote. And apparently that was the feature for their we've got this new audio stuff we want to promote, and in order to promote it, we brought it. We're gonna let our senior vice president, one of our senior vice presidents, play guitar.
I mean, I hope let's think of it this way.
Apparently he did it again?
Does this officially mean guitar is back?
I don't know, because he's still playing old people music.
Yeah. Sassy saying we can't play YouTube videos, we'll get struck.
We're gonna get YouTube struck for playing a YouTube video on YouTube.
Right. It feels weird.
Is that a thing? Can you not play YouTube video? I mean,
I don't know.
We played less.
That feels very meta.
I feel like we played less than 30 seconds, so it should qualify as fair use.
I think so. But Michael Krause is right. That guy has waited so long to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. It is interesting to see guitar playing in a major announcement release from one of the biggest companies on the planet. So I don't know. I had not seen that, so I'll go back and watch the whole thing later. Maybe if I can stomach it, because that was already a little much for me. But it's. Have you seen the new? This is so not guitar, but have you seen the new Apple VR headset they're releasing next year?
Yeah,
Oh, I can't.
Well, I go back and forth. I've read some different things, talked to some different people in one of the Discords. I don't know if he's on this or if they are on the stream today, but one of the conversations I had on a Discord was about how the somebody said like, or this person said like, well, this is a best in class. Like this is current best in class. Like this is cutting edge technology,
which means like 6 people will buy it.
And that's my issue is like, well, it's also like it's cutting edge in a class, but like how many people are making VR? Like I can only think of Oculus, I guess Meta. So there's
PlayStation.
Like 3. Does PlayStation have their own?
Yeah, Sony has their own VR.
I guess this one there's some like new features that are pretty interesting because this is the first one that doesn't use a controller. It uses like you can use hand gestures for at least some of the things.
Yeah. All right. So I decided to look it up because I'm curious how many current available VR options are there. I'm looking for not discontinued. So let's look at this. Thank you, Wikipedia, for allowing me to sort. For tethered VR, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 currently available tethered options for VR. And that's not counting standalone VR options, which looks like there's another 20 or so.
Now, I guess the other thing that this is supposed to hit is that it's the cameras. I guess the camera processing is supposed to be really fast.
I promise, Sassy, we'll get to it.
The camera processing is supposed to be super fast. So part of that VR is it's a VR AR. I don't know if it might be the first AR, or at least it's supposed to be the best AR. Now, do people care about AR? I don't know. So I don't really.
I've played.
So weird.
We have the Oculus, and I've played a bunch of video games in VR on that, and it is a lot of fun. It is a totally different experience.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed all of my VR experiences so far. I just don't know if I enjoy it enough to spend the Apple money.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and my thing is I'm kind of in this boat right now.
Yeah.
Well, Google Glass actually looked a lot better in my opinion, than this, and people laughed it out of the room. So it's interesting to see that we're like, as societally, I think we're more acceptable. We're more accepting of this kind of technology, even though like now I don't know what Google Glass was capable of. I never used it. I don't know what you could do with it. I'm sure the Apple thing, you can do a lot more with it than you could with Google Glass. But just in principle, like Google Glass looked like something futuristic that Apple what's it called? Vision Pro.
Yeah.
It feels a little backward. Like it feels like I keep saying it, they look like ski goggles. Ski goggles have existed for decades. Right.
Yep. Okay, quick pause because I have 5 minutes. Do I take this offer on Reverb for this Paranormal Rascal bass, or do I order directly from Fender using their 10% off coupon that they have currently, which gets me in the ballpark of the same price? Do I support a local business or go straight to Fender? Not a local business. It's not local. They're local to somebody in Maryland.
Right.
But
I don't know. I think you should buy a Jazzmaster 12.
why? And we're going to talk about the Jazzmaster 12. Oh, this is such a hard 4 minutes. I've been sitting on this offer for now 24 hours. Like, I made a lower than this offer and they countered, and this is what we're sitting at.
Yeah, I think, Michael, this is the real question, is what's the difference in return policy?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's look at the return policy. Show more.
And while you're working on that, I'm gonna set this up.
Yeah. Payment and return. This product can be returned within 30 days of receipt.
Is that the Fender policy or the Reverb policy?
That's the Reverb policy.
Okay.
Okay. Free shipping.
I think this is the take, by the way.
Let me see.
Is Fender free shipping?
I think so. It's if it's over a certain price point, and this is over a certain price point.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I do like. I don't know. I think you should just buy one of them. It sounds like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like it doesn't matter. But in one case, Fender gets more money, and in some case, this shop could get some money.
Do you have a Reverb affiliate link?
Yes, I need to make sure I click that.
So
if
you use your own link, you can get an additional like $4 back. I know Reverb affiliate's garbage.
Yeah,
it's like 1%, but you can get an extra $4 off. Eventually,
no, you're 100% right.
You get an extra $4 off once you hit your minimum threshold for payout. Wow.
All right. Nah, I accepted. So I'll have that next week to talk about, or sometime soon.
Yeah. So what is your take on the Jazzmaster 12?
I really, really like it.
Really?
So I want an electric 12 string. I've got an acoustic 12 string I've been using for some like home recording. I haven't nothing that I'm willing to put out where other people can hear it, but I've been recording with it, and I really enjoy the sound of 12 string guitars. And so I really want an electric 12 string, and that's a really affordable electric 12 string. I also agree with tone straps. I hate that headstock. Like, literally, Rickenbacker showed us how to do Rickenbacker. Who am I going to piss off here? Rickenbacker taught us how to do 12 string headstocks. Why does everyone still double the length of the guitar?
I think it's because like that's a Fender shape.
Don't care. It's ugly. Don't care.
They also have the alternate reality series. This was this is from a few years ago. I think this is more interesting. Still has the headstock that
I still can't
hate. Ryan says he loves the headstock. I don't. I do not love the headstock on either of these. The Squier one is slightly different than this one. Looks like it's a little softer angle.
Yeah.
I like this one because it's like a more unique with the Mustang, or with the Mustang, whatever you want to call it, pickup layout. The bridge is really a really interesting design to me. But I don't know. I'm not a 12-string guitars are consistently for me guitars that I find interesting.
Sure.
To mess around with for about 5 minutes, and then I'm done.
Okay, Ryan, I think that headstock on a 6-string would look better. It's just too long. That's the part I hate about it. It's just I don't know. I'm not a fan. I think it's ugly, but I don't like most 12-string headstocks. I literally only like the Rickenbacker, and Michael Krause says the tuning pegs hit each other. It's been almost 20 years since I played a Rick 12 string, so I have apparently just let myself forget that they do that.
Yeah, and both Justin V and Michael Krause are pointing out that the Maverick has this headstock.
Oh,
it is still a full length hockey stick headstock.
Oh, it is. Whoa.
Imagine writing one song with the 12 string. Now you have to haul an extra guitar around each gig for one song. So like the Eagles. you're just now in the Eagles.
Or Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But you can't deny like the sound of the Byrds and Tom Petty and the Beatles.
Sure. I mean, I can deny it.
It exists, Steve.
I can deny that I want it to exist.
There you go. You can say you don't want it to exist, but it does in fact exist. That Maverick is wild. It's because it is. When you said the Maverick has that same headstock, I expected it to be 6 on a side. It's not. It's 3x3, and they space those things out.
I'm throwing the link up in the chat. We got about 20-ish minutes left. I want to do this. Well, we didn't have anyone join last time, but if anyone wants to join, jump on in. The only thing I ask is just be prepared to share. Prepare to share something. We'll get you in, give you your 30, 60 seconds, and then bounce you out. So, and if you don't, we'll just keep talking about whether or not people should be emulating 12-string Led Zeppelin tones. The Reverend Airwave. I'm not familiar with this one.
Oh, me either. Hold on, let me look this up.
Okay, it is definitely a Rick nod. It is using a full-size 12-string. It actually reminds me of like a Seagull headstock.
Yeah, I need to find a different color to look at because this is making me seasick.
The green one?
Yeah. Whew. Okay, that blue's better.
You don't like this green?
I do not. Yeah, no, I do not.
See, we got.
Oh, that's better. But so let me tell you, I don't normally like black guitars. I think Reverend does black guitars well. I think Reverend does black very well. I think their body shapes look really good in black, very classy. I don't know. And that headstock's not the worst I've seen on a 12-string.
No. Reverend sits in this weird space in general. They make really good guitars. But I feel like I kind of feel like they haven't put anything out in a few years that I was like super. I mean, I like the buckshot shape.
Yeah. I had a Sensei Junior for a little while, which is their single P90 thing. Oh, look, they make a Strat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I like the gristle.
Yeah,
the gristle's just like an extra fat Telecaster.
It's like if a Telecaster and a Firebird had a baby.
Yeah. What's the Samurai shape?
Or
Sensei. Sorry, there it is.
There it is.
It's kind of like a SG-ish sort of deal.
Yep. And the one I had was just a single P90.
Gotcha. Shut this down.
So while we're waiting to see if anybody wants to join us, how do you feel about the leak, I guess, the Dave Grohl Epiphone? That's something. Yeah, I know. Leak. Is that something you'd be interested in?
It's kind of whatever.
I kind of like them.
I think that I'm just looking at the YouTube videos that have come out about it. And like one of the ones that came up is a video titled "This Guitar is Going to Be Incredible and affordable. And it's like, is it?
You don't know any of those things.
It's assumed that like this is I mean, this is clearly a clickbait title.
Yeah.
This is a smaller channel. It's I don't know this person. Maybe they're a good channel, maybe they're not. I don't really know. But yeah, the title is this guitar is going to be incredible and affordable. Calls it the most anticipated guitar in a decade, which that could be true.
That might be true.
I could see how. I mean, this is definitely a guitar that people have been asking for a very long time.
But literally,
oh, Ryan's in. What up, Ryan?
Hey,
what it is? Are you excited about the Dave Grohl Epiphone? The supposed one, because it's a leak from an Instagram photo.
Yeah, there's no actual specs or anything yet. Yeah. And the photo's in black and white, the one that I've seen.
Yeah.
So
someone colorized it though. Did you see that? Somebody went through and they were like, "Oh, it's a gold top." I'm like, maybe.
You made it a gold top. I don't know.
What's up, Sassy? How's it going?
Hey, how are you all?
Can't complain.
This is my first time doing this from a phone and seeing what everyone else sees.
Yeah, I did it from a phone once, and then my phone overheated. If y'all remember when that happened.
So on the Dave Grohl, the affordable part, Epiphone literally just released a $1,500 Flying V. Like,
yeah.
What part of I realize everyone's like, oh, it's going to be, they're expecting the same price point as the Emily Wolf, probably, because it's a similar guitar.
Right.
Don't bet on that. I wouldn't bank on that.
The Emily Wolf is just like the Dave Grohl, except a different color.
The headstock is different. Firebird headstock versus a 3 on a side.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. So the headstock is very different.
But still, the body and the electronics, are they not the same?
Until I would bet the electronics aren't, because Emily Wolf's is 2 volume knobs and a tone knob and a 3-way switch. And I think Dave Grohl uses the standard 2 volume, 2 tone thing.
So his should be cheaper because they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything special.
They don't have to make it.
It's interesting to see Gibson trying to basically make Epiphone, Fender Mexico.
Yeah,
with the price points, where Epiphone for so long has been it's been the Squire level.
Yeah,
right.
Where like people are, it's always been more expensive than your Squires. It's landed in this $600 to $900 range. It's interesting to see if people will embrace high $1,000 Epiphones.
Yeah, I agree.
This is my skeptical face.
I've liked the direction of Epiphone the last couple of years, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I played even their acoustics. I've said this on my podcast a couple of times. I played one of the Epiphone J45s, which was like a $800 acoustic guitar, and that's probably the best under $1,500 acoustic guitar I've ever played.
So someone was chatting up about Epiphone on a Facebook group the other day. And,
that looks like a modern.
It is a modern.
Is that a modern?
It is.
Body?
Oh, okay.
Nice.
It is. It's the Korean-made one from about 25 years ago.
Nice.
Wow.
Cool.
Moderns are cool. I wish they would always have this in production.
it plays like a dream. And really, I don't know why Gibson doesn't reissue it. I did happen to see the other day on Reverb that there were a couple of the early 80s Moderns for sale. Both of them had the same serial number.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So what I was getting to is I was chatting about Epiphone versus Gibson in some Facebook group, and people were like, well, you can either buy quality or you can buy quantity. And I was like, yeah, you can get both with Epiphone.
Yeah. I've been really, really impressed with and
yeah,
I've been a person who dogged Epiphone before. So
well, like Epiphone and Gibson are so far behind with their price points because like all these like Korean import brands are selling their stuff for like $1,200 now. Like all the Reverend stuff is all Korean import. It's all $1,200 and up. And they've been holding Epiphone back in these $100 ranges, and they're behind.
Yeah.
They're behind the price points. And, you know, I think this is going to be controversial, but I think in a traditional sense, Epiphone has better QC than Gibson does. But the reason for that is because Epiphone has that super slick, like it has to leave the factory hyper polished sort of feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're getting a thicker candy finish on stuff because it's not hand lacquered or whatever. Where the Gibson stuff, it retains this kind of like era correct building style where it's like, oh, this lacquer is like hand brushed on or something like that, or hand sprayed. It is like it retains this imperfect charm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like on paper, the import Epiphone stuff like has higher QC, but then Gibson has this kind of hand done charm to it, you know, throwback charm.
Yeah,
does that also apply to the modern series Gibsons?
Oh, probably not.
I mean, I think
I picked one up.
I suspect it apply. I mean, well, I guess the modern series. That's what they're calling the HP now.
Yeah.
The comfort cuts and swoops and all.
I'm sure those are great, but I am that stereotypical Gibson player who wants the way they used to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Michael Krause, is it easier to throw out a cheaper guitar? Is that why Epiphone QC is better? Ooh. I think that's like a little bit of the argument, but I think there's also, you know, it's consistency of build process. It's the whole thing is like when you are getting things built that are more hands-on. Which the assumption is that when things that are coming out of the Gibson Nashville factory are a more hands-on build, you hope that every day for your hands-on builders is going to be a good day.
Right.
If they're having a bad day, then what? You know, then what happens to your guitar that you might get but then you hope that gets caught in their QC, but maybe their QC is a little higher. The other thing to consider, and I know there have been some bad Gibsons out there. I'm not saying there haven't. I remember picking up now it was a lower end one, but one of those when they first came out with the faded series, you know, 20 years ago. I played some of those fadeds in stores that had like worse fretwork than what Squire was even doing at the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was really bad fretwork, like very sharp frets. And so I remember those. But I just don't so I don't know what's the cause of that. But what I was going to say is the other thing is Gibson, you know, in that being in that $1,500 to like $3,000 price range is in this weird thing where people are expecting like when they buy a Les Paul Standard, they're expecting like what you would get from a Collings or a Tom Anderson or a Shure or a Cower or any of these like really small shop builds. But it's also like mass produced. You know, Gibson stuff is relatively mass produced, so it's a tough comparison.
Like, Gibson's tough because their brand identity is traditional, and that is what their consumer wants. They want a traditional Gibson that feels like a Gibson that they could have bought in the mid 50s or something like that.
Yeah.
But
real quick, Ryan, Snarky wants to know if you know where your woodcutter is.
I'll go get it. But the trade-off there is like, because I've got the studio, right? I've got a Les Paul studio, and it, like, even though that's a somewhat more modern Les Paul, it has the construction of it and just the feel of it, like, kind of reminds me of a guitar built in, you know, like a Silvertone sort of era.
Yeah.
You know, like it's chunkier. The way that the finish is up and down the neck and stuff like that. Like it just, it feels like more old school. And if you lose that vibe, then you lose what people want from Gibson. But here's my woodcutter snarky. I still have it. Everyone hold up your woodcutters.
I love
mine's on a pedal board right now, so
I feel like
got a white one.
Yeah, I got the tuxedo one when he did the special run a little while back. I feel like I need to put these two on the board together just for aesthetics. Like this is for the Instagram, right? For Graham.
Yeah, Ryan, when you went into the garage, your Wi-Fi, like your phone started dropping signal.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The garage is the farthest point in the house away from the router. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just good grief, my production skills just went to crap for about 3 seconds.
On the Gibson thing, I think I actually believe and I actually know a couple of people that work in Gibson QC at this point. I actually think their QC is better now than it's ever been.
Oh, sure.
I have the hot take that I actually think Gibson right now makes better guitars than they did in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, they absolutely do.
Yeah. Absolutely do. And I think there's two sides. Like there's so many like legacy takes on Gibson, and there's the traditionalist like me who I know who I am. I like it the way they used to do it. I want them to be that. But then there's also the people who legacy, they know what the QC was and sometimes can be because again, hands on an instrument, it's going to be a little more prone. But I also like Steve, you're talking about sharp frets. I've gotten to a point now where, especially living in Mississippi, a guitar typically has to ship a long way to get to me. And depending on what time of year, I expect every guitar that comes to me to have sharp frets or need a setup or whatever, because, there aren't a lot of guitar builders here in Mississippi. So I don't get a lot of guitars that were built in the same climate I'm going to be playing them in. So I think I've gotten to a point where I don't complain about that anymore. Like it's not an issue because I can take it and I can fix the sharp ends frets. I've had several guitars. We won't name makers just because I'm trying to be polite, that I've actually arrived with loose frets.
Loose frets?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen that.
Yeah. I've had to have frets reseated. No, not that loose, but like where they had to like be reseated and re-glued.
Weird.
Actually, I will name the biggest culprit I had was a Fender Telecaster I bought a few years ago. But it's by no means a Fender thing. It's a different brands thing, but that one was an issue.
Interesting.
It just is what it is. I think we also have like these hyper expectations of production level instruments that aren't a custom shop or a single builder kind of thing.
Backing up ever so slightly. Well, that's how we got onto this topic, I guess.
Yeah.
I found an article where Dave Mustaine says that his Kramers, his Epiphone, and his Gibson signature models are all the same. He thinks they're all basically being built to the same quality. The Epiphone Dave Mustaine custom Flying V is $1,400. The Prophecy is $1,500. This is if there is a production Dave Grohl, I think this is probably
that's the price point I'm expecting. That $1,500.
Yeah.
Which is that affordable now? I guess it's affordable compared to they don't make the Dave Grohl anymore.
No.
I mean pre-inflation, pre-COVID, that price point could have been $900.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make the Dave Grohl anymore. I think the cheapest one I've seen recently was $28,000.
So is that what what were they originally? It looks like they were originally
I can't imagine paying 5 figures for 2 humbuckers.
Right. I can't either.
Because that's what you sound like. You just sound like with any guitar with 2 humbuckers, you just sound like a guitar with 2 humbuckers.
No, there's one for 20,000 now. So I should specify.
There's a gold one at Chicago Music Exchange for $6.
Yeah, I was going to specify. It's the Pelham Blue that always goes for the most, because that's the one he played.
But that's the most boring color.
I know. I like the gold, the metallic gold, personally.
Gibson needs another blue besides Pelham Blue.
They made a black one. They've had a few runs at a couple of different blues, and I don't think they've been good, if I'm honest. You remember I was talking earlier.
Guys, I don't see what the big deal is. You can buy one of these on eBay for $360.
So Diaz from the Effects Loop bought one. He bought one. He's got it in. And he paid less than that, actually.
You got a Gibson?
Yeah, for a Gibson.
I'm not. But there's a good picture of the back of the headstock. I don't know why they didn't include a picture of the front.
If you want a stage prop, like that's the way to go. If you just need the look, like
if you're playing Foo Fighter songs and you want to play it on a guitar that looks like Dave Grohl plays, sure.
Yeah, just make sure you grind off the logo before you try to resell it, because you'll end up in prison or something.
Yeah. Oh man, but
perfect for the Foo Fighters tribute band.
Now I like the Pelham Blue a lot, but the gold looks great. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see what colors they release in an Epiphone version. But yeah, it's always the Pelham Blue one that goes for the exorbitant. There was a black one too. I never see those.
Watch, it's gonna be like neon pink.
Oh my god.
That's why the photo is in black and white, because they don't want us to know about Dave Grohl's new kind of like hyper pop direction he's going or whatever.
If that's the case, I am in.
All right, I got an idea. It's really dumb. You're in a cover band. It's a Foo Fighters Cypress Hill cover band. Ooh. It's called Everbong.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Steve, you weren't trying to get that $25 gift card early by running that eBay ad there, were you?
Oh man, I'm still waiting for the last time we streamed for the watcher who said they wanted to just literally cut Swiss cheese holes in their guitar. I'm still waiting for them to do that, and then I'm preemptively, when he sells that's my ad. Just I don't care who actually submits it. I'm calling it.
There was somebody asking about doing weight relief. What model do you remember?
I don't remember what model.
Yeah, they were asking in the chat about doing weight relief on some guitar, and and if they should just like Swiss cheese it from the back.
So circling back to the Cypress Hill talk.
Oh yeah.
I have an idea for a band now. It's going to be a combination of like Cypress Hill 90s style kind of rap mixed with like country guitar. I'm going to call it House of Twang. It's a House of Pain joke.
Yeah. No, I get the joke.
It took me longer than I want to talk about, but I got it.
I had to stop the conversation so I could get that out of my head.
I feel like House of Twang is already a Memphis score.
Probably.
Chat's over. That wins. Good night.
Yeah. Actually, we are now past 2 hours, and that's when I usually wrap up and try to, do family things. So,
real quick, I want to ask. Yeah. Okay, Kramer Dave Mustaine versus Dean Dave Mustaine. What's probably the better quality?
I'm gonna say the ESP James Hetfield.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna say yes. Also that, but also probably
Wu Twang.
Wu Twang is that.
Oh my God!
That is it. Done.
Okay, now we're done. Done.
Also, because I was curious, I had to look up House of Twang. House of Twang is what Duke's Mayonnaise calls a YouTube series they have.
Oh my God!
Where they highlight restaurants that use their mayonnaise.
House of Twang ain't nothing to fool with, y'all.
I don't know. I don't really know the Dean stuff. I think Dave Mustaine moving from Dean to Gibson is kind of like reading the writing on the wall. Like Dean is kind of, who the hell knows what's going on with them right now. So I feel like he probably got the opportunity and went.
The only Dean I care about is Jimmy Dean.
Man, yeah.
So is it a step up or is it a lateral step?
I think it's probably
Dean as a brand is just dying. Dean is going to be like BC Rich in 10 years. Where it's like, who owns them? Like, what are they making anything right now? That's what Dean feels like right now. It's like it's disappearing. You know.
I'll say I've played Deans that like back in the day that were pretty nice, like import Epiphone quality guitars. I just can't speak to what the what their more recent, what the Dave Mustaine stuff was like.
And Dean has only been existing off of, you know, those artist relationships. It's like Washburn. Washburn has one electric guitar, and then where's the rest? You know, like you take away that one signature guitar, and then it's like, what else is there? You know,
Dean, honestly, and this is a weird thing, but it's like Dean has always been a brand I kind of avoided because their marketing always just felt gross.
Well,
totally.
Yeah.
So I never messed around with those. So
apparently,
I always wanted a Cadillac though. The Dean Cadillacs are cool.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it was published back in a few years ago that Dean wanted, or that Mustaine wanted to go back to Jackson in the early aughts.
Oh, interesting.
And he was actually trying to buy Jackson guitars. And then Fender bought it. And so
I was about to say, is that before or after Fender owned them? So
yeah. And so that's when he had left. It sounded like he had left ESP. He was trying to go back to, or no, sorry. He was, he ended up at ESP because he didn't want to be with Jackson when Jackson was owned by Fender.
Gotcha.
Because he was trying to buy Jackson and then Fender bought them faster, it sounds like, or negotiated better, or, you know, probably what happened is, you know, Dave said, I can give you X, and Grover or whoever on the Jackson side said, no, I need Y, X and Y, X and Y, X and Y. And then Fender just came in and wrote a giant, said, well, we'll give you Z and it's bigger than X and Y.
Or it could very well be, hey, that's a guy who plays guitars trying to buy you. We're a guitar company.
I mean, that would make more sense, but I like to pretend that Fender has an unlimited bankroll.
We know that's not true. They fired an entire shift.
I just imagine Dave Mustaine in like a business meeting, like doing his voice from his songs, like, here's what I'm presenting.
Well, that's like James Hetfield. Every time he agrees to a deal, he says, "Yeah."
So one of this thread, and I think some of this is speculative, but it's because then Mustaine eventually left ESP because ESP wasn't sponsoring some tour that he was on. It sounds like that Mustaine was on. They weren't giving the kind of support that he wanted. And I think he said, sorry, it's my thing.
I know.
So there was some other back and forth there, and the speculation was that basically Dean just went to Dave Mustaine with a bag of money and said, "Let us slap your name on some guitars," and Dave just took it. Now I'm sure there's some quality agreement there, but you know, the three biggest Dean artists of the last 20 years are Dave Mustaine, Michael Schenker, and Dimebag, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, is Dean just a bag of money and an import factory? I don't really know.
Armadillo Enterprises.
Well, that's who owns the name, but what does that mean? Like Michael Krause points out, or asks, is Dean just a couple of guys who own a name? I don't really know who's all at Armadillo and how they operate.
I know that the mother of the CEO, who I guess would technically be the owner, She fired her son because her son proceeded to piss off everybody, and they all left. And now they're in a lawsuit against Dimebag's group.
Well,
because evidently Dimebag doesn't want his name on their products anymore, and Dean's like, no, you've got a contract, and so now it's
Dimebag's estate. Dimebag's
estate. I'm sorry, I should say yes.
But also the mother is suing the son in the meantime, so it's a nightmare.
Their current artist lineup is Kerry King, who's what band is Kerry King from? Someone's gonna kill me for not knowing this, but whatever. Kerry King, the Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein series. I'll just throw this up here. There we go. Kerry King, Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein from the Misfits. Eric Peterson, I don't know who that is. Slayer, yeah, exactly. I should have known Kerry King. Carl Sanders, he's standing in front of a pharaoh. Michael Schenker from Michael Schenker, Leslie West, and Michael Amont. Michael Amont's another one that I should know, but I don't.
Leslie West?
Leslie West. Who's Leslie West? It sounds like
Mountain. Didn't he die?
Hey, just because you're dead doesn't mean. I mean, also, who knows when this website was?
Yeah,
who knows when this website was last updated?
Yeah, the entire Dean controversy, all of this, like everything, sounds like something that would be like a made-up company in Ozark that no one would ever believe could be real. It's so bad.
Dean's entire roster consists of guitarists who are dead.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. I need to say this just for the one person there in chat. Niche. Or niche.
Niche. It's niche. Oh, this hurts me. It's niche.
Niche.
It's like microfiche. It's niche.
Niche. Nice.
Love you, MJ.
Niche.
Leslie West died in 2020.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Like I say, a roster full of dead guitar players. That's a great way to build your brand.
And if you think about Leslie West, you don't think about Dean guitars. You think of the Les Paul.
No, you think that Junior.
Yeah,
right. I don't even know who that is.
Mississippi Queen, the song Mississippi Queen.
Oh, okay, sure.
Ryan was born in '82. This is way over his head. I'm sorry. I'm not being mean. Hey. I'm not being mean, but it's not in your wheelhouse of artists that you know.
Everyone that I listened to was like in the early '60s.
Right, but there's but about '63, you jump straight ahead to right. 85.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was born in 81. Let's get the facts straight.
Okay, 81. I'm sorry. I don't want to take away from you.
Late summer 81. Okay. It's very important to get these details right.
Ryan, there is a Instagram message. I wanted.
Is it from Snarky?
No, well, probably. No, there's another one in there that is a Fender offset Telecaster.
Okay.
You need to look at it.
That Terry one?
The Terry one. I think that might be one for the show. If you have some time to deep dive, because I don't know anything about the artist or anything, but I feel like that's.
Well, that's from Terry and the Bunnies.
Yeah,
I can never remember how to say his last name. Japanese guy, Terry Teriyaki or something like that.
Yeah,
and he played those Yamaha Samurai headstock guitars with the weird earwig shape. And then he played various Mosrites and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting to see a Fender model made for him. But he's Japanese rock star.
Yeah. Well, and it looked like that was like a pretty old
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's like fully decked out with Mosrite appointments. Like it has the string guide, zero nut sort of thing going on. It has a Mosrite style trim arm, but then some trim I've never seen before. Like
it gave me real big the whole offset of it all and everything gave me real big Yamaha SG3 vibes.
Exactly. I've got one of his records down in here. Let's see if I can find it. It's not important for me to do this, but here I go.
So while we're here, De Bruyne asks, how long does people have to be dead before you can make a signature guitar without their estate's consent? A long time. The Gibson Robert Johnson acoustic guitar still goes to the family as estate.
Oh, well, that's fascinating.
Yeah. It's I know the members of that family, and they are still partnered in that.
Something like 80 years.
That's for written works. Like it's 70 years after the death of the author, but for their actual name and likeness, I think it's can be longer.
What was the name of that company that sent us a guitar early on to check out? They were doing like the Relic Parts guitars.
TMG.
They had a guitar named after Danny Gatton, right?
Yeah, and that one was kind of controversial. Well, it was more than kind of controversial.
It was really controversial.
I'm saying of the there's a lot of things that were controversial about that brand, and the way that they named their guitars was one of them, because there was like a question. They had 4 models. They still have 4 models: the Gatton, the Dover, the Ronnie Scott, and the Scarlet. And I don't think for either the Gatton or the Ronnie Scott, at least the story, I don't know the details, but the assumption was that they did not have any sort of negotiation with now, I guess the Ronnie Scott, I don't know who that was named after, because Ronnie Scott was a jazz saxophonist.
And the Gatton, if you read the description now, it doesn't mention Danny at all.
Yeah, so it's like, is it by calling it Gatton?
But imagine making a Strat copy and calling it the Clapton and being like, "Oh, that's just what we call it."
Yeah. Oh, it's just a name,
right?
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But it's just enough, I guess, to get away legally if they've still got it up there.
Oh, whoever's protecting the name doesn't know or care. Like that's what's going on.
That's true.
Ian, answer your question. There was a Gibson Hendrix Strat. All I'm going to say is go to Trogley's channel and search for the videos.
I found the album.
Oh, did you?
What was that, Sassy?
So Ian made the comment about who wouldn't want a Gibson Hendrix Strat, and Trogley purchased the prototype. He did a couple of videos on it. It's out there, sold it to some collector, but evidently the Hendrix estate was real close to doing a Strat. With Gibson.
Well, everything was signed. They had one.
It was in production, but the backlash was so insane that they pulled it. Like
they did it with some weird reverse Firebird headstock looking thing,
it's total trash. Let me show you guys.
It's a dumpster fire, but I kind of wish it gone into production because I kind of want one because it's like a
that's it.
But here's the thing: Strat. They sold these in like freaking Target.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it was a budget model.
Like there's a whole bunch of problems with it, and it's like Target. It was like a Target brand or whatever. It was like not just that, it's a Gibson thing. It
was a first acty sort of
Target.
Yeah.
Walmart, whatever you want to call it,
No, you're gonna sell these things and you're gonna sell them in Target?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
They were selling it with all this swag, all this dope swag. Look at this amp, just like Jimmy would have played.
Well, Gibson also did the Maestro line of guitars that they sold in Walmart.
You guys just can't handle the authenticity of Gibson products.
Authentic Hendrix right here. Authentic Hendrix. Michael Krause says you interviewed the TMG guy. We interviewed the current TMG guy, not the scandalous TMG. Well, I mean, yeah, not the TMG guy that everybody is terrified, or that like nobody knows what his story was. No. The guy who was taking orders and then, not
disappearing
them.
Yeah.
And he was Australian and he had like 5 aliases and whatever. So not that guy. All right. I hear my kids rumbling around. So I got to get going.
I hear kids rumbling around too. I have no idea who they belong to.
You were hearing were Ryan's kids, but because my mic's too close to my face.
I'm right next to the kitchen right now, and Edith is getting
hey. Hi.
But yeah, this was fun. Like I said, we try to do this at least here as we can every month or so. And
we make no promises. We're making no promises.
These are fun.
I like that I don't have to do anything. It's great.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful? I like it. I told my pitiful YouTube channel get some views somehow.
I told Philip last night, because we had talked about it, and last night I was like, dude, I don't think I'm going to be up for it this morning. And then I woke up this morning and I wasn't feeling like super fantastic, but because of that, I kind of also woke up with a fuck it attitude. And I was like, so I just messaged you. I was like, dude, if you're still down, let's just do it. Like, whatever.
Yep.
And it worked out pretty good. So thanks everyone for joining in the chat and hanging out with us.
And smash that like button. Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah,
like, comment, subscribe.
Oh my gosh. And we'll see y'all later. I'm gonna
wait. Oh. Ryan. Oh,
yeah.
You gotta end it. You gotta end it with
stay grounded.
There you go. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Adios.
Oh, Ryan just full on left.
Yeah,
I still haven't actually hit